We're back for another episode of Kiss My Assets. Me, Heather Andrews, investor relations, and I like to think eye candy, but also Bart, our director of marketing, who is, again, still very fun and cool. We're glad he's still here. And Jamison Manwaring, our fearless leader, who is very happy with the job I do. So we're going to just start bold. Being that we are a multifamily company, and what we know right now is rents are too damn high according to a lot of people, but still better than a mortgage. That they're finding that the median renter in the U.S., 29% of their income goes to rent, which is still a lot of money to give away. It's down a little bit from last year, 30%. It's still much cheaper than owning a home, paying a mortgage, except for in just, I think, four little areas that are probably lovely places, but I don't want to visit. Bart, do you remember what places they were?
Yeah, it was Detroit, Philly, Cleveland, and Houston.
And do you have vacations planned there this year?
No.
See, I think it proves our
vacations.
point right there. And so like we said, we're always watching to see what rents are doing.
So rent surged during the pandemic. Do you have any, your expertise, do you have any input as to why that was?
We didn't really know why rents started moving up, but it corresponded and correlated with the costs of houses moving up, because people were living and staying in their home a lot more because they weren't going to the office. So they decided they wanted to trade out and move into a nicer place. So it ended up driving up the price of homes. Also, the Fed brought interest rates down, way down to incentivize the market. Mm-hmm. So it made the cost of homes much cheaper.
I was one of those people.
Yeah. And so, as the rates came down, it ended up driving rents because the cost of houses.
Yeah. Houses were free for a while. And I took advantage.
You got in at the right time.
You did. I did. And this is my whole personality now. I'm so proud of it. But yes, now they are not free. But I think that, right, there's two reasons, right? Not only housing, the mortgage rates going up and that there's no supply, there's for still a lot of demand. People are preferring to rent more and more. We're seeing that in a lot of different groups, that multifamily apartments are more interesting to people. That fits their lifestyle better.
New York is one of the areas that is an outlier where over half of your income goes to rent. Nationally, it's about 30%. But if you're in New York, you just realize I have to make more of it has to go to rent.
And it was worth it. I'm just standing up for New York a little bit. It was worth every penny.
And so it's psychologically, it's in New York, you're just used to that.
Yeah.
But the rest of the country has now started to catch up, where rents have moved up. It's become a larger piece of their income. And the thing that will always correspond with rents is the cost to buy. If the cost to buy is less than rents, then less people will rent. But if it's cheaper to rent, then more people will keep renting than buying. So except for a few outliers in the U.S., most major cities, it's cheaper to rent, and so people keep doing it.
Yeah, which is great for us as a multifamily investment company.
We love to see it. Not only, right, we're seeing more people renting because that's what's available. It's cheaper. The attitude about homeownership, or the American dream of homeownership, that's shifting. And that's the thing really interesting to me, is this evolution of the American dream, or the reimagining of it that's happening. And so Americans, as they poll them, they're finding, I think it's the second year in a row, Americans think it's not a great time to invest in a home. We know why. But also their optimism, it's down to 21%. So that's 9 points less than a year ago. Think that they're optimistic about owning a home, or thinking that's a good investment. The thing that I really loved about, or thought was interesting about it, is that they did the same poll, the same question in 1978. They did it again in 1991. So first, 53% in 1978 still wanted to own a home. They were excited. That was their dream. 67% in 1991 still loved the idea. That is what they were aiming for. And now here we are in 2023, down to 21%. And I think there's a variety of reasons for that, and not all of them negative. There's some interesting things on why it's why the American dream has changed, and it's positive. And so I think we should talk about that. I want your opinions.
Yeah. It's weird looking at this because in 30 years, to summarize what you just said, 30 years, it's gone from 67% to 21% for a desire to own a home. So that's a 46%, 46-point swing, which is crazy. And looking at it, I think Americans, millennials, Gen Z, they're more inclined to consider the cost of renting versus buying, and then also just how flexible it is to rent versus buying a home. I think those are two things that are really important for me. Jameson, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, and I've seen my older siblings. I'm the youngest of 8 kids, so my oldest siblings, when they kind of reached adulthood, it was really important for them to get a home, like in their 20s. And now I see that shifted around my time frame. Most of my friends wanted to get into a home, but now I see my nieces and nephews, that's not really on their radar. They value different things. They value working on their career, having the ability to be flexible with where they live. And I think they do want to own a home, especially as they start settling down and getting a family. It kind of corresponds, but we know that starting a family has been pushed a little later. Owning a home has been pushed a little later. And I do think that the American dream, owning a home was always promoted as the American dream. You got to own a home, start your family. That is not the way that it is anymore. People realize that owning a home isn't all it's cracked up to be. It can be a great way to save some money, but it isn't what most people want to do right now. So we've seen a total shift. As you said, in 91, 67% thought owning a home was what it was all about. Now it's 21%.
Yeah.
That's a huge shift in perspective.